Yo, check this out. Check this out.
Yeah.
Yo, check this. Hey yo, here's a freestyle, I'm starting for fun. I'ma keep this verse short, yo, pardon the pun. I'm not talking about the green that's chilling on his legs. I'm talking about this verse that's off the top of my head. I got my man representing Asian men in the Marvel universe. Yes, I'ma say this again. Shang-Chi, yes, doing his thing. I told y'all before, y'all, my man got 10 rings. What we do.
He's still the GOAT.
Here's the gotcha moment. Your turn.
Oh, yo, here we go. Yo, I grew up listening to this man on BET. He's the BET of the BE me.
Let's go. Bars, take it.
There was wordplay there that I was like starting to fit, and then I was like, man, that's fast. That comes at you so fast.
Watch me sell this for you. What he meant to say was the BET of BE me is because we're both out of this world.
That's exactly
like
it.
ET.
I really was going
phone home, bro.
there.
Come on,
no,
phone home.
Definitely, dude.
Phone home. Here we are,
dude.
This is it.
This is amazing. We met like just a few weeks ago, and now we're doing a podcast.
Yes, we've only met recently, but my first visual contact of you was a Wong Fu production. I believe it's the. I think you've done a couple things with them, right?
I have, yeah.
The one that I remember watching is your father, and then you have a daughter, and you're like, I want to show you these video.
Oh yeah,
clips.
Meeting Mommy.
Is that the name of it? Why would I not remember the name Meeting Mommy? I meet mommy every morning, every night. Well, I'm talking. I call her mommy, the mom to my kids. So I remember watching that. Wait, what'd you say?
I was like, you just made it personal.
Oh,
what do you mean you're meeting my mommy every night?
That was called Meeting Mommy?
Yeah, it was called Meeting. My partner and I, at the time, we actually wrote it.
Oh, you guys wrote it together.
And produced it in Canada.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like my way of, because Phil and those guys, I approached them with it. But because in my mind, I was like, these guys probably get every single whatever Asian actor at the time was probably hitting them up, trying to be like, hey, can you put me in your stuff? And I didn't want to be that guy.
Okay.
I wanted to be the guy that like provided something. I showed them the short that we made, and Phil was like, yeah, we'd love to put it on our channel if you don't mind. And I was like, do I mind?
Okay.
This is like best case scenario for me. So yeah, we got the video up on the channel, and it actually wound up like, I remember like the first like 10,000 followers that I got were like from that.
So I'm going to give the viewers a bit of context and listeners. I call them Gintellectuals, by the way.
I love the puns.
Just filling in the lore.
Gin puns.
Just building the universe, as you would say, right?
Of course.
So for those that haven't checked it out, it is worth checking out. I think your body of work is very diverse. But Meeting Mommy, I mean, for me, it made an impression.
Wow.
And I think when I watched it at the time, I was definitely a father. I had my first son at the time already, I believe. So I was in daddy mode already. But would this be considered a spoiler alert? It is somewhat of a spoiler alert because it does tug at your heartstrings, right?
Sure.
The premise is there's a father, and the father is showing his daughter, correct?
Yeah.
Showing his daughter some DVD with some footage of it.
Yeah, it was back when DVDs were a thing.
So I'm kind of dating the story, but the point is, without revealing too much, go watch it, because at the end, you kind of get it when you first start watching it too, right?
Sure,
what will happen in the end.
Sure.
But nonetheless, even though you kind of can foresee what's to come at the end, I still think the story, although not super convoluted or complex, it still hit me in the heartstrings, right? When I finished.
Well, thank you.
I was going to say, at that time, that was a deep cut right out the gate. So after that, I think the next thing that crossed my radar, although I can't say I was really able to watch the full scope of it, but this still goes to the power of it and the influence of it, is Kim's Convenience. Because I remember earlier on when I started seeing your name more and kind of seeing you out there. This is even before Shang-Chi.
Sure.
I think that was the project that would be aligned with your name, right?
Yeah.
Kim's Convenience.
Yeah.
So what year did that launch?
Yeah, so Kim's Convenience, so I got cast in April of 2016.
Okay.
Filmed the first season and came out the same year. But it was only in Canada.
Okay.
Right? It was the Canadian Broadcast Corporation. Yes. It was this wonderful little show. Big in Canada, as big as shows really get in Canada. And it was great. And then we were renewed for a second season right away, which was awesome. But then when we came back to shoot the second season, our producers like sat us down for dinner and we're like, so we just got this deal. We just made this deal with Netflix. And so now instead of just being in Canada, you're going to be global in over 100 countries. and your lives might change a little bit.
Nice.
And they were right. You know, once the Netflix thing happened, it was like no matter where I went in the world, someone somewhere would be like, I love Kim's Convenience.
Nice, man.
And it still is to this day. For what I'm recognized for, like I'll get probably equal parts Shang-Chi and Kim's Convenience and Barbie for what it's worth. Like kind of like a pretty even split.
Yo, between those three, that's like if I were to use a food analogy, I mean, I use all type of analogies, but that's quite a smorgasbord buffet of roles and projects. Between those three.
It's a potpourri for sure. Yeah.
I mean, we could continue down your IMDb, but just between Kim's Convenience, Shang-Chi, and Ken.
My friend likes to say, like, what's on your tombstone? Like, what's on your,
so which
like, what are your greatest hits?
Here lies Asian Ken.
Here lies Ken, yeah.
Yo, what did that look like when you kind of knew that was signed, sealed, and going to be part of your catalog, getting to be part of a project as grand and epic as Barbie? Like,
yeah, it was wild. It was probably my first and only audition post Shang-Chi.
Okay. First and only.
Yeah, I'm very blessed and fortunate to say, because I also I hate most actors hate auditioning. I hate auditioning. So I'm very glad that I don't get. Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship. Yeah,
I would assume you're thankful for the opportunity to it, but then you're simultaneously dealing with the
absolutely
what's gonna happen.
Wait, now I'm wondering, do you act? Are you auditioning?
I've auditioned. I've been through I would say, let's say the main stages you would go through. I've been through the self-tape process.
Yep.
I've been through that era of showing up, signing the sheet and see who else's name is on the sheet. I don't have a ton of them, but my wildest sign in on the sheet for an audition was showing up, and we clearly weren't casting for the same role, but I signed in maybe 45 seconds after Jonah Hill signed in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, they were going wide. They were like,
I just said
we were going
not
wide.
Going for the same project.
No.
Same project. We weren't going for the same role. As what I meant to say. But I remember going for. I could share this actually. It was a film called Accepted.
Okay.
Accepted.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Long time ago. It was about a kid who
forges a
college.
Yeah.
Forget about forging a certificate. He forged the whole college.
Forged the whole college. Yeah.
And it was him and his misfit group of friends.
Yeah.
And one of them was supposed to be an Asian dude. Come to find out by final cut, or forget final cut, final shoot draft of the script, the Asian friend wasn't even in the picture no more.
No.
Right? So I guess it's one of those hey, I didn't get the role, but I'm glad I didn't lose it out to someone type of situations.
Oh, wow.
I don't even know what's better, losing the role or having the whole character cut out. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it depends on which way. It depends on what mentality you take, right?
Yeah.
Do you see another Asian man as your brother, and therefore, as long as one of us gets it,
yes,
right? Or do you see them as competition? In which case, you're like, oh, well, screw that.
I'm 60-40. For me, the 60 would be, hey, if I don't get it and Daniel Day Kim gets it,
yeah, hell yeah,
heck
one
yeah,
of us,
right?
one of us. That's what's important.
I only say DDK because I also remembered. This is still within the scope of your question.
No,
I do act, and I have been through the self-tapes era, the signing in the sheet era, and not landing anything era, which is still kind of the era I'm in, right? Oh, and also
you're doing fine.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I've also been fortunate enough to share under this umbrella of a topic that I've landed roles where they just offered it to me too.
Mm-hmm.
And those I look across all of those different experiences, and I'm like, sometimes if it's for you, you don't really even have to do much. But if it's not for you, you can climb to the ends of the earth and you're still not going to land.
No, totally.
Right?
Well, I would say that enough footage exists of you as a performer that I feel like if somebody, if I had a character in my head that was something like MC Jin, I would be like, oh, for sure it's this guy.
What you said a moment ago about casting the wide net, this is where I'm like, man, they do cast the wide net sometimes. Because I remember self-taping for something, ended up not getting it, and it did go to DDK, Mr. Daniel Day Kim.
Oh, yeah.
So when it came out, I was like, that was a pretty wide net. Because, I mean, clearly
a little different. Yeah. He's got these crazy ass cheekbones. And
so shout out to him. That was a movie with Anna Kendrick, actually, the one where they're in space.
You know which one I'm talking about?
I'm trying to go. Stowaway, I believe it's called Stowaway. Really cool premise, and I remember when I got the sides, and I was like, man,
my boy Shamir Anderson is in that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That movie, I ended up watching it.
Yeah.
Do you watch this? Well, I don't know.
The stuff that I was almost in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And I will say it's not always, to your point, like I'm like sunshine and roses about it, like 60-40 as well.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I've also, I don't know what your thoughts are. I've also been back and forth on as an Asian performer of like the whole, okay, do you have to know martial arts as an Asian man?
Yeah.
And the answer in this day and age, honestly, is like kinda. It's a whole genre of storytelling where, at least for the most part, we kind of have a competitive advantage.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. It's
so it's tough. It's tough for me to then poo-poo that and to be like, oh well, that's so derivative. That's, you know, it's playing into stereotypes or whatever. When like truly, that's like one of the only ways that people who look like us have gotten continued work over the years. Yeah,
I have my own kind of thought that I think I've only arrived to now at this current stage of both not only my career but just in age and in life, and looking at as broad of the picture as you can, right? I think it's all in the mindset that you carry it into, right? I would also not want to say to any aspiring young Asian actor, hey, because it's derivative, it's not worth exploring. Like, meaning if your heart is in martial arts and you have that in you, and your dream is to be a premier Asian martial arts actor, I don't think that should be kind of condemned either, because like, hey, for so long that seems like to be our only entry point, right? So So I was asking about Ken. Yeah. So when you landed that, you were like, that was the first kind of casting post Shang-Chi, you said.
Yeah, it was like the big, like, okay, what am I gonna do next? And I remember one of my agents brought up Barbie in a meeting and was like, so Warner Brothers is making a Barbie movie. And I was like, okay. Yeah. Because the big question, because before the Barbie movie was the thing, you can imagine what people thought the Barbie movie was gonna be. Right? This sort of like cash grab. Like, I mean, there's a million different ways that this movie could have been made wrong. And he was like, hear me out. It's Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, and Greta Gerwig. Yeah. And then I was like, oh shit.
Was it a no-brainer at that point?
$1.
$1. Thanks.
Oh shit.
$2, man.
Once I read the script, it became a no-brainer.
So in terms of the musical components of it, the singing, the dancing, prior to that, had you delved into kind of that type of performance? Or was that the first of that scale?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the first of that scale, but I was, I always fancied myself a bit of a dancer. That's kind of, I think, how I found my love of performing. When I was in high school, my buddies and I would like, you know, like a lot of people watch breakdancing videos. And if you happen to be Asian, then you saw Koreans kind of dominating the scene. And that obviously influenced us in a way. And so we would go in the lunchroom when it wasn't busy or filled with people, and we would like start trying to windmill and stuff, and not that we were any good, but then that kind of like funneled into hip hop, and then when I went to college, I joined the competitive hip hop dance team. Okay. And so it was all like, it was more like the So You Think You Can Dance, like America's Best Dance Crew, like
this is like era. In a crew setting.
Yeah.
Is there a multiverse where you might have been one of the Jabbawockeez?
God, that was my dream. Yeah, that was my dream. It was Jabbawockeez, Cabba Moderns, Quest Crew.
Quest Crew, yeah. What about the singing side of it? Specific for the Barbie.
For the Barbie movie, yeah. I didn't have to do too much in the singing side. I wanted to do more. Oh, okay. Quite honestly, but you know, I also get it. You know, no, I'd always I taught myself how to sing when I was young. Okay. Because I had a girl in 6th grade that was that I. It's
always the girl in 6th grade, bro. I got you. Why do you even think MC Jin started rapping?
For sure.
Girl in the 6th grade.
I get you, man. I get you.
What was the song? Did you have one song that you were trying to really hone in on at that time that you were like, I mastered this song and she's mine?
It was probably like NSYNC.
Bye bye bye.
But Bye 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 is like more of a, you know, but it's something a little more soothing, like this.
Bye Bye Bye. This I promise you.
Yeah.
6th grade, you swinging for the fence.
Yeah, I could do a bit if the clearance isn't gonna kill you. You can't afford it.
I can't afford it. All right. They can, but I can't. We can all imagine you singing it. Wait, so you would come in hot, like would you like specifically hone in on Justin's parts, JC's parts? Like, who are you really? When the visions are... Yeah, that's all I can afford.
That's all you can, yeah. At what point does it become something that you have to... I don't even know.
Okay, so there is a... Yeah, we get it. We can imagine it. I guess the point is the affinity for dancing and singing.
And singing, yeah. Almost more than martial arts even. Like when I think of martial arts, I think of dance.
Did you have formal martial arts training even at a young age though?
Not really.
Oh, so
Not
that's
really.
like later on.
Yeah, that was later on. I begged my parents to put me in karate or kung fu, and they actually never did. Yeah, they were like, 必须得读书, like you have to study.
Yeah.
You have to study.
Right.
And anything else was like a distraction.
We're at Barbie.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of, go backwards a bit on the timeline. Back to Shang-Chi, because it ties into the martial arts talk. And so I can actually zero in on one thing that I thought is just, to me, always been a really cool component of the Simu Liu Shang-Chi adventure, which is the Twitter manifestation. At that time, it was called Twitter, so I'm just going to still call it Twitter.
Yeah,
right?
It's Twitter.
Before the rebranding, it was Twitter.
Yeah.
So you essentially basically took it upon yourself and tweeted out, hey, y'all looking for a Shang-Chi? I'm right here. What I want to know is, at the time, in your heart, I don't know if you can remember it at this moment, did you really believe that that could possibly be a slither of an opening, or were you just doing it on a whim? That's what I want to know. Do you remember?
I do remember.
Okay.
I do remember. Well, I remember the mindset that I was in, and it wasn't like, I feel like people have retrospectively looked at it and been like, oh, he knew, or like, oh, he had a lot of confidence in himself. And it was like, to paint the picture a little bit better, it was like 24 years old, chronically online, because I was so frustrated at what my career, how slow it was moving, right? Because I had made the decision at 23 to, give the whole acting thing a try. And I booked some things right out of the gate that kind of made me feel that sense of like, oh yeah, initial success.
This could happen.
And then I went like a year and a half without booking anything. So I was kind of deep in the middle of like depression, like kind of that like struggling artist, starving artist, like feeling. Everyone who's been down that path knows what that feels like. Yeah. I have so much to offer. No one's gonna give me a chance. And so it more came out of like that just like feeling of desperation, that like trying to give myself, maybe trying to give myself a light at the end of the tunnel. Not that, but not fully seeing it. You know what I mean?
I love
like, it. Oh man, what if we had an Asian, what if we had an Asian superhero? How crazy would that be?
Yeah.
And then, when they finally announced it, I think it was many years later, but I was actually on Kim's Convenience.
Yeah.
And then, so it was very much kind of with that same mentality that I was like, hey, are we going to talk or what? But very much with a false bravado, not like a real like, oh, I got this in the bag, because I very much didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even throughout the audition process, it was a very hard thing for me to reckon with. It's like, why do you think, because let's just say it's a lot of pressure to be
super
the first.
I've always, just from afar, watching the trajectory of it, from the tweet to kind of stirring and it's brimming that it may be this guy or maybe that guy, all the way to the formal announcement of it. I watched it, and
I knew all the guys that it maybe would have been.
My inner circle, my family and friends, we're all movie buffs. We're all Marvel fans. We watch movies. We're all invested in this.
Sure.
We're not all, but a majority, Asians, right? We're like, yo, this is a very big deal, right? Yeah. And the weight of it, I guess I would even say for myself, more than my circle of friends who are, let's say, not in entertainment in any regard, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm from afar, and I'm like, that's a lot of weight on whoever this person is going to be, right? And at that point, not knowing you or not knowing who it would be, I was already like, yo, when it does continue to unfold, it's going to be such a prestigious opportunity, for sure, and such a grand opportunity,
for sure,
but the weight is going to be just as heavy.
Can I ask you what your honest reaction was when I was announced?
The honest reaction is, because I didn't know too much of your background.
Yeah.
There wasn't really a pro or anti of it.
Yeah, you're right.
I was happy for whoever would get it.
Yeah,
because I was like, I mean, also just because I don't think there's anybody that would have got it that I would have been like, why him? Because I don't harbor those type of feelings in general, right?
For sure.
I'm not saying I'm a saint, but thankfully, right, I don't have anybody that I'm like, as long as it's not him, right? That person is not out there.
For sure.
But I will say, when you were formally announced, I think the full-on reaction from me was just, this guy's in for quite a ride, number one,
for sure.
and also it's going to be a lot of weight on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, there's kind of like a poetic type of thing about it. I mean, hey, you're a Marvel hero. You're supposed to have weight on your shoulders.
For sure.
Right? That transcends any one of the characters, whether you're Tony whether you're Shang-Chi, where I meant Tony as in Starks, or whether you're Captain America, whoever, that weight is there.
Intrinsically, there's a lot
yes, on the hero, right? Within the universe. So obviously, we're talking universe and we're talking real life. I would dare even say real life is heavier because you're dealing with it as Simu. You're not dealing with it as Shang-Chi,
there's
right?
a cultural specificity to it.
Oh, I haven't even yes. The cultural You know what? It's so layered that it's crazy.
Yeah.
There's the cultural specificity, and then, as we know, the very fervent, like passionate Marvel fans that are out there that are just very meticulous about every casting.
Yeah. Although I will say, like, when it happened for me at San Diego, and like my phone went ballistic, just like in 10 minutes, like it literally by the time I came off stage, it like overheated to the point where I had to turn off all notifications because it was just crazy. You know what I felt from Marvel, and actually I'll even say like Western audiences, everyone who wasn't Asian, overwhelmingly positive.
Dope.
From within Asia, I think it depended on whether it was Asian American or Asian from Asia. Like two very distinctly different mentalities, obviously different backgrounds. And I think on the one, for people who are familiar with me and maybe what I was about, they were like, oh, heck yeah, I get why it's this guy. And then for the rest, I think there was a sense of confusion of like,
who?
Could we? Yeah, it was a bit of who? And then it was like, could we find no one else? Which honestly, now looking back, I mean, it was 6 years ago, so I feel like I have some sense of like perspective about this.
Of course.
I'm like, so fair. So fair. And I remember feeling that way, just to bring it back to the audition process. I remember feeling that way in the audition process as well. Like, why? Every time I felt like I was close, I was like, but why do you think you deserve to be this guy? Because he's supposed to represent everybody. And how do you think you're good enough? What are you good enough on the basis of? It's not martial arts. You're not the best martial artist that's auditioning, for damn sure, right? You're not the best looking. That's for damn sure. We know who's out there, and we know, a lot of those faces, really nice faces, really nice, good looking people.
Yeah. I'd rather be staring at them right now.
Yeah, there you go.
But I am enjoying the video too, though. So, all right. And, okay.
I'm told I look better in person, so you're getting a more...
No, okay. But... So you're saying
maybe not good for a film actor, but
you're saying within yourself you are navigating and wrestling with like
my own sense of insecurity and why me. Yeah.
Can I ask this then?
Yeah.
When it was all said and done, and maybe now several years removed from it with a bit more perspective, would you be able to? I guess you can't speak on behalf of the producers, the directors, the studio, but to your own assessment,
what do you think it was?
What do you think it was that landed it for you?
I think. On my second audition, so the first time I met Destin, our director.
Okay, shout out to him.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of weight on his shoulder.
A lot of weight on his shoulders
for that project. Yeah,
and what he and I think again, Shang-Chi is another one of those, similar to Barbie, one of those things where like there's so many obvious traps and pitfalls that you could do it wrong, and I feel like in those wrong ways, like in a different director, they might say something like. We need somebody who will guarantee us the China market more than we need somebody who fits this character, for example.
Fair.
Right? For Destin and his upbringing, and if you see the work that he's done, he's a very, very thoughtful and very character-driven director. And I think, so him from the very beginning, he was like, I don't really care if you know martial arts, we'll get there.
Okay.
What I want you to care about is the humanity of this character. Can you play shades of a human being? Can you make us feel like that underdog, or can you make us feel like you're a man who's struggling to come to terms with his identity and what he's done, and reckon with the guilt of being an assassin and all of those things, and hiding from the world. And I was like, I think I know how to do that.
Okay.
And then we wound up doing some scenes, and then he was like, improv with me for a bit. I remember it was like, I actually don't remember a lot of it because I blacked out.
Yeah.
But I remember at one point I threw the pages, and then we just improv'd and riffed, and then I came out and it was kind of one of those like,
nice.
Oh, what just happened? But in a good way. And I feel like, and I don't know, you'd have to ask him, but I feel like I won him over.
And that was one of the key moments.
At that time. Yeah. Yeah, he was like, okay, this guy is willing to play, he's giving something back as an artist.
Yeah.
Rather than, oh, this guy is like the best looking, he's 6'3", or like, oh, he's a triple, quadruple black belt, you know? And I feel like Asians, like Asians, like East Asians, really kind of index on those achievements and okay, how many different things can you hang your hat on? How many black belts do you have? How many world championships? Like, give me the quantifiable qualifications. Yeah. Right. Whereas I think, you know, I've always believed that acting is about the ephemeral thing. It's about the thing that's impossible to measure.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, that man was like, I think it's this guy.
Dang, thanks for sharing that. Yo, this is kind of still within the Shang-Chi realm. And this is me just being more of a fanboy of this individual that I'm going to bring up. He has so many fanboys, and I am self-admittedly one of them.
Sure.
At what point of the sequencing did you realize that you would be, at least within film context, the son of Tony Leung? Like, was that something that you knew within the auditioning process, or that's way later on?
Yeah.
So is that something you also had kind of like in the corner of your mind during it, or you blacked that out? Like,
I blacked it out, man.
Okay, you blacked it out.
I didn't need any more pressure.
Okay.
No, I'm not thinking about it.
Now, okay, so blacking it out during the auditioning, but after landing it, what was your mindset when you're like, I'm really about to be a father-son duo with the GOAT of GOATs?
His first on-screen child, too. He's never had, before that, I don't think he's ever been a father character.
Wow.
Yeah.
And just for clarity, that's your first time working with him, I believe?
Yeah.
Now, beyond first time working with him, that's your first time meeting him in any capacity.
Oh my God, yeah.
And
I was shitting bricks.
$4. There you go. Hey, knock yourself out.
I mean, you talk about like an absolute legend of Asian cinema, and I was very, very familiar with his work, as I think a lot of Asian Americans are.
Yes.
When we inevitably go back and visit family in the summers and stuff, we watch, we consume Asian content, and we have those little glimpses into worlds in which we're the main character. Because, for like 90% of the year, I wasn't.
Yeah.
And for 90% of the year, none of the movies that I saw in theaters, nothing I popped into my DVD player made me feel like I was seen. And then it was like Tony Leung.
How do you go into meeting someone like Tony for the first time? And you're meeting him in a pretty specific context, because he knows at that point, this is who I'm going to be sharing screen time with, who I'm bringing this very magnificent project to life with.
Yeah.
And I would dare say, within the story of Shang-Chi, y'all relationship is the crux of it all.
For sure.
This father-son relationship, right?
For sure.
Did you get to have time with him prior to the actual production?
Yeah.
So did you feel like that was like crucial and fruitful time?
Yeah,
like, I really just to break that ice.
I really did. We definitely needed to break the ice, if only on my part, because I feel like Tony can act to anything and anywhere. He could act to that fake plant, and it would be just brilliant.
This could have been Shang-Chi.
Brilliant. So it would have been me. Yeah. Maybe it would have been even better, because probably what I was giving him wasn't that. I was so new, But I do remember meeting him, and just for me trying to spend as much time with him as possible, to sit with him. And, I had also my own preconceived notions of what someone of that stature would be like.
Is there one that he shattered in particular?
I mean, the biggest one, I think, is just the lack of ego.
Okay.
I think that's,
that's
like
cool to know.
Especially because there are like Hong Kong movie stars whom I admire greatly, who are very famously have an air about them.
Yeah.
And come roll in with an entourage and are just like, kiss the earth that I walk on. And Tony very much is he's just like a dad. He is, even though he's not he doesn't actually have any kids to my knowledge.
Yeah.
But he is very much like a dad, and his disposition is so like warm and gentle and vulnerable. And I imagine that's what makes him such a good actor.
I'll say this, man. Like, his legacy is, one of one.
Yeah.
But with you sitting here in front of me, and I look at your journey from what we've talked about so far, whether it was the Kim's Convenience and then the Wong Fu, it's very like storybook, like it's almost like a script of a movie, the way the trajectory is, right? We talked about Barbie. Specific to the Shang-Chi component, I have my own kind of view and thoughts that I think is worth sharing with you here. I remember at the first time that I saw you in person was at the Unforgettable. right? This gala in LA.
Asian prom,
suited up. And at that point, Shang-Chi is out already. I think maybe like out for a year.
I think it was December of 2021.
Same year, was it? Kind of within the window of it, right?
Yeah.
So the energy is definitely there. It's Shang-Chi energy. Yeah. And the key thing about that night that I remember is my son being with me. So I have a 13, Chance is 13, and then little brother Justice is 6, right? But Chance was with me that night, and to backtrack the story a little bit, what I remember even more vividly than that night is the first time he saw the trailer for Shang-Chi. And he had this excitement and hype about it. And he was like watching it again and again and kind of quoting the lines from the trailer to me. Because for all intents and purposes, he is the Marvel generation kid, right? Right now is his era. He's growing up on all of the classics that will be that 10 20 years from now that are of this time frame right now. The Wakanda Forevers, all of the Avengers of all the various within the series. But I remember him watching the Shang-Chi trailer, and there was just light in his eyes that I think I didn't anticipate because I never assessed or even thought about what it would mean to him to see a Marvel character front and center that, for lack of better words, like we always hear it described, that you can kind of like identify with in a very just kind of surface level, let's call it, right? Like, he looks like me, right? Or even within certain scenes, you see dynamics that are of Asian culture, Asian heritage, right?
And it's viewed at, and I'll say too, it's viewed from an aspirational lens.
Absolutely.
Rather than like a stereotypical one.
Bingo.
It's like, oh no, this is a guy that you could actually look up to.
Bottom line, and he's the hero.
Yeah.
Like the hero's hero, right? Like the front and center hero. Not like a cool hero on the side, right? But like the front and center hero. So I remember him watching the trailer, and then fast forward to the night of the prom, Asian prom, and he was just so like ready to kind of like be able to go and say what's up to you. I mean, because he's not the very like, oh my gosh, that's Shang-Chi. But I could feel internally, he's definitely more cool and calm than Daddy is, right?
Sure.
Because 13-year-old me would have been like, yo, we gotta go over there.
Yeah, for sure.
But for him, I could feel that it was more internal, but I know that it was a really cool thing. And all of that is to say, for yourself, I want to emphasize to the audience and even for me, to you, that, man, I know that it took a lot for you to get to Shang-Chi, and then even taking it on, it was a no-brainer. But even though it's a no-brainer, it's still something that, just even here, sitting here talking to you, I could tell that in the process of it all, psychologically and definitely physically, it probably took its toll on you in various ways, right? And you came through the fire, you're out of it, we're several years removed from it. And that is not the only thing that defines you, right? It didn't before then, and it won't moving forward, right? But it is obviously a milestone moment.
Yeah.
And I think one that you and the world will agree was a watershed moment, as we, use these terms to define. And it was just a cool, fun moment, right? And it was just a great moment. So now that, I'm unpacking all of that, I want to talk about stuff that's more recent. Well, post Shang-Chi, 2 films in particular that I watched recently. I'll start with the sequence of how I watch it first. I watched Arthur the King first.
Okay.
So I'll start with that.
Yeah.
Arthur the King, the first thing I noticed was kind of how physically grueling it looked like, that film. So for those that haven't, go check it out, right? It's about, they're what, like adventure seekers? Would you describe it as that, right?
It's like a very niche sport called, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate from adventure racers out there, but it is a very niche sport.
It's like 5-6 different things tied together.
Yeah. It's this like ultra marathon, but in the wilderness, and it takes place over like days. And the people that do the sport, just I don't know any other way to describe them. Like, they're just like, they have like something of a death wish, like an adrenaline junkie to the nth degree. And so they'll trek for, this particular story takes place in the DR, and they trek over the course of like 5 or 6 days, and they sleep for like 30 minutes a night. Because they're trying to get, it's incumbent on every team to ration their own food, sleep, whatever, rest. So you figure it out. They give you a map, they give you a GPS, and they're like, great.
That film is grueling for all of y'all, I felt like.
But, it was, it was, but it also wasn't. It wasn't like we were actually we were sleeping. We were sleeping at least 7 hours a night, and really just simulating it.
Y'all some good actors then.
But, you put a little dirt on all of us, and it was really fun. And for me personally, I feel like physicality is how it's an access point to characters.
Yeah.
So as long as you give me something to do, I'm in, you know.
And you were in that film, you were like you started out as an adventure racer, but then you kind of blew up, so to speak, within the film, and you became like an influencer and
right,
like a social media personality.
Yeah, social media personality.
Did you feel that you had to like kind of tap into a part of Simu that it doesn't exist, or like how far was that character, the social media part?
I love this question. I actually really love this question because nobody asks me about Arthur the King. Everyone's asking about Shang-Chi all the time.
That was in the script.
So Leo was written actually, and the team that it was actually based on, because it's a true story. Yeah. The team is all Swedish, so everyone was white and Swedish.
Okay.
So it was really cool that I got to play that character, but he is written kind of in a very, I would say, a two-dimensional way. And of course it had to be, because ultimately any movie with Mark Wahlberg in it is going to be a Mark Wahlberg vehicle.
Yes.
And so it's like if I were to just take that role at face value, then you would have gotten this like cocky, you know, just like jerk of an like shallow kind of narcissistic influencer who was always like, oh, what, you know, in it for themselves and whatever. And my access point to Leo was Wong Fu.
Okay.
Was all of these people that I knew within the like YouTube sphere who had built incredible careers for themselves, but they did it as entrepreneurs. And you know, talking to Phil and you know, our mutual friends like AJ Raphael, like they were able to make careers for themselves in areas where Asians were not traditionally let into. Yeah. Like we were not allowed to be musicians. We were not allowed to be filmmakers. And so while I knew that Leo was going to come off as, he was going to be a jerk.
Yeah.
But if I just led with, oh, this character's a jerk, I have to play a jerk.
Yeah.
Then not only is it not going to be likable, people are going to hate this guy.
Yeah.
Right. And so I wanted him to have layers and some sort of a redeeming quality. And to be honest, I don't know if any of that actually showed, but for what it's worth, I was like, this character needs to be more than what it is on the page.
Nice.
Right. And so yeah, actually, I don't know if
that one, for those that have not watched it, check it out. Go watch it, because there are definitely redeemable aspects, I think, to Leo. I mean,
yeah,
it's
for
not,
sure.
He's not being a jerk just for the sake of it right out the gate.
For sure.
So watch it and come to your own.
And yeah, the other two, Ali Suleiman and Natalie Emanuel are become really, really good friends of mine.
So awesome. I feel like a film like that would kind of organically build quite a bond amongst the cast. Just because you guys are, like you said, you're sleeping 7-8 hours a night, and in the film, y'all are going through some grueling stuff.
Yeah.
But I would envision it's still pretty grueling.
We're also bubbled because it's very much still in the COVID, like pre-vaccine COVID era. You know, that was the first movie that I shot post Shang-Chi before it came out.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I was just like, look, I need to get on something, because the thing that I'm like the most afraid of at this point is just one and done, because I had seen it.
No doubt.
I had seen so many examples of like, not just Asian, but other actors of color who have a moment, and then you're like, great, what's next? And you know what? I'm just to be real, like Hollywood is not a system that serves people who look like us.
Yeah.
And so if we just like, I've always believed that if we just wait around for the perfect role or the quote unquote perfect opportunity, we're going to be waiting forever. And then it's like, okay, well then I guess you just don't work.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why, you know, talk about Crazy Rich Asians, for example, an incredible watershed movie, which introduced us to, I would say, not one, not two, but like 12 incredible Asian American performers. Like how many of them are still regularly working? How many of them do we see on a regular basis and we're like, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's been tough for us. And so my deepest, darkest fear, and the thing that I think, maybe to a fault, the thing that drives me is not to be that and not to be forgotten. Like I refuse to fade into the background, you know?
That kind of does prompt me for the next film that I was going to ask about, because on the note of not wanting to be fading into obscurity, that kind of happens in The Last Breath. Like, well, fading deep into the depths of the ocean.
You're doing wordplay now.
I'm wordplaying. So Last Breath, I recently watched, has nothing to do with his deep and darkest fear of fading into Hollywood obscurity that he was just pointing out, but it's about deep diving.
Yeah, it's a very real deep dark fear.
Very real. That's a deep dark fear. So short premise is it's a group of divers. Now this one, more uniquely is based off a real story, right?
Yeah, Arthur the King was also.
Oh, Arthur the King is also based off.
Yeah.
What's up with you doing? Yo, Shang-Chi, Arthur the King, Last Breath. You're doing biopics only.
I love doing biopics where I'm playing real characters that weren't actually Asian. It's a very small niche, all right, but I'm in it.
People are like, Shang-Chi was based on real. Yeah. You guys didn't hear about this assassin? No.
Yeah.
So Last Breath, it is the most recent one out of the few, right?
Yeah.
What year was Last Breath filmed? Do you remember?
We shot it in 2023.
Okay,
I think.
2023.
Yeah, in the summer.
Now that one,
yeah,
I felt like, this is just me watching it, it felt like you did have to do some pretty intense training for. Like legit deep diving, right?
Yeah, it was. So the movie is about these saturation divers, and saturation divers basically work on the ocean floor, the sea floor, where, you know, a lot of oil companies have pipelines and just structures, manifolds, things like that require regular maintenance. And so they have these divers go down. And it's a crazy story about these divers because you don't just clock in every single day, go down, come up, go home. Because there's a differential in atmospheric pressure at depth and surface level. It's extremely damaging for human beings to go repeatedly down and up. And so what they'll do is they will stay in a pressurized tank on board a giant tanker ship. But this oil, it's tiny. So it's like you're sleeping like 3 feet away from where your toilet is, and then you're eating 4 feet away.
You're also bunking with your
and you're bunking with everyone.
Or your dive mates.
Yes,
the
exactly.
Team that you dive with.
So the 3 or the 4 of you will stay in this pressurized chamber for a month.
Yeah.
A month, just pooping on top of each other. And then you're lowered in a pressurized ball called a bell, and you're lowered to depth every single day so that when you step out onto the seafloor, you're at the same atmospheric pressure as you were on the surface. And in order to do that, that's why it's called saturation diving, is because the air that you're breathing is highly, highly saturated. And it's just a really weird condition to exist in, and it's a career that I would say like 99.99% of people have zero awareness of.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. I wasn't aware of it until watching the film.
Sure, yeah.
But then as I'm watching the film, I'm like, this is so legit though. Like it's understandable. Like I'm like, there are all these pipes running. I'm guessing, just even as a layman, someone who knows nothing about it, you would think, yes, under deep ocean floors, pipes running all over the place. Somehow, some way you got to maintain it.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm sure there's also some sort of technology and contraptions that can be implemented.
For sure.
But there's some things that just have to be manually done.
Yeah.
And who are these people that go down?
Yeah. What is the psychology?
I felt like that film was eye-opening in that sense.
Yeah.
But more so specific to this story, based on a true story, is basically a unfortunate kind of like it was semi-tragic because the diver got lost or got separated. And then his dive mates essentially were like, we're going back for him.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Your character.
Yes.
He was
Dave.
He was Asian, or do you know?
He's half Asian,
okay.
half Japanese. Yeah.
Okay. So when you landed that, right? What was the mindset? Did you feel like this was gonna be, like, how did you go into that project, Last Breath? Like, 'cause it's with Woody Harrelson.
Yep.
Which is, I know, in chatting with you, I know that you have, I would guess, a built-in kind of certain admiration for certain actors and directors.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Woody is also someone you're working first time with on this project, right?
Yeah.
What did you have any kind of like thoughts about going into a project
just knowing excitement. I loved Woody. Okay. I love like all, from White Man Can't Jump.
Yep.
To Hunger Games, to really like everything in between. Yeah. I mean, he's just an incredible actor. I was really, really excited. What actually probably was the most exciting for me about this, and I'll say Arthur the King as well, was just the adventure of it, right? Like Arthur the King we shot it in the Dominican Republic for 3 months in a COVID era where nobody was going outside. So I was like, wait, you're telling me that I get to get up every day in the Dominican, and I get to like take boats out to all of these remote locations and like just go on this like crazy once in a lifetime adventure.
Yeah.
And this was very much the same. It was like, okay, so we shot the movie in Malta, and then we have 3 weeks of training in which my only job is to get up in the morning, put on a wetsuit and a regulator and go scuba diving.
Man.
Sign me up. Like, yeah, of course I'll do that. And we had an amazing dive supervisor. His name was John Garvin. He's James Cameron's guy on all of his movies. He did The Abyss all those years ago, and he's done a bunch of the Avatar movies, just training the divers, getting them used to like breathing with different apparatus, getting them used to diving, but also like breathing with very specific dive gear.
Yeah.
Because the diving that saturation divers do is very, very different than like you on a holiday in Thailand.
Yeah.
You know, there's very specific technology and equipment that is a part of that. So anyway, yeah, it was the promise of this like once in a lifetime adventure and getting to dive with some of the best and most experienced divers in the world.
Shout out to all the people that do that job. What is the term for it?
Saturation divers.
Saturation.
Yeah.
Shout out to them, the real heroes. Because, I mean, we don't think about it on a day-to-day, but what they're doing does and can affect our lives,
for sure.
right? So I'll give you one of these.
I can't wait.
Just hold this.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to write a word, a noun of any sort, person, place, thing, can be anything, free reign.
And no prompt?
You're going to try to get me to say your word in some way.
Okay, but how... What is your like bar as to how unique this word is?
Knock yourself out.
Okay.
I mean, that lays more on you because your objective is to get me to say it.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can go generic, you can go super absurd. It's just a matter of if you think you can get me to say it.
Right.
I feel confident about what I wrote.
Okay.
I'll even show it to the good people first. Yeah.
Okay.
There is a art to it, right? Because you want to get me to say it, but you don't want me to know that I've said it, right? So
yeah, kind of regretting it because I feel like there's.
Do you feel like it's a not high likelihood that I'll say it? So you can put it down now, and we just kind of put it to the side, and we continue on. It's called "How Well Does Simu Liu Know Simu Suits?" You're a pretty fashionable dude. Would you agree?
I try.
Like when it's time to be fashionable, you're pretty.
I do my best.
Like, look, today, how much time was put into this? Yeah.
Zero. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, don't lie.
I came from tennis.
It looks very.
I haven't even showered.
Well, can you kind of describe? I'll go first. We're just gonna do a fit check. I got this. Well, my wife picked this shirt.
Okay.
I like the. I'm in color. I wanted to go green.
That's good.
I didn't know we were gonna kind of complement each other.
That's good.
I want to go shorts. These gray shorts because it was definitely a little more hot.
Yeah.
LA,
Yeah.
Right?
You know what I'd love to do with fashion is I'd love to highlight more. Like from like Asian designers and things like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do are you familiar with them or?
Yo, that was such.
No, I just want to know.
Which Asian fashion designer did you write on there?
I didn't write any. No, that's way too ambitious. If I was gonna try to get
back to my segment. How well does Simu Liu know Simu Suits? Here we go. These are pretty prominent moments.
I'm trying not to cross my legs
Why?
so that I don't flash the camera.
No, what do you mean?
Because
of what?
My shorts. What if I do this? Is that okay?
That works.
Okay, great.
Okay. Late night. I believe you're hosting here, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like you're doing like a monologue or you're talking to the folks. There's definitely a hosting type of situation.
Okay, but is it late night or is it daytime?
It's late night because I see a moon and stars in the back.
And I'm okay, so I think you're referring to me hosting the Jimmy Kimmel show.
I believe so. You have that. You
like
have
the
a
light blue. Is it a light blue?
I don't. You tell me. I'm not asking you to guess. I'm telling you to tell me, bro.
I know, but it's based on I've been on a few late night shows. So you have to tell me what specifically.
My bad. Most of the people I talk to have only been on 0 times.
If it was the Jimmy Kimmel show that I hosted versus was on, but if I hosted
you're hosting Jimmy Kimmel right here, yes.
Then I'm wearing a light blue Paul Smith suit with like a white, like a cream colored Henley underneath.
Let's go. I was just going for the suit, but you told me the brand and the shirt
to
under.
a T. This is a nice photo too.
Yeah. We'll just keep it going.
Okay.
I'm just looking purely at the background.
Okay.
Sponsored by a very high-end automobile company that I will not mention because I see their logo in the back. But Time 100 event.
Time 100.
Because I see Time 100 on the back all over the place.
I had different suits actually because I hosted that.
This
gala.
looks like a red carpet type of situation.
Okay.
I mean, look,
for the
you
red
had
carpet,
differences, but even if you nail one
on stage,
of it,
I wore a black tux. And on the red carpet, I wore a Versace suit that was blue. It was like very, very like bright blue with a monochrome, so like a bright blue shirt underneath.
Let's
Versace.
Go. Okay. Don't touch my iPad either. No, I'm just kidding. Nice. So how much input do you put into these moments right here? Like, do you, like, I guess for myself and maybe those that are curious to know,
sure.
Are you very proactive in, hey, for this is what I want to go for? Or you fall back a bit and work with the styling team? Like,
yeah, I definitely,
half and half?
I try to let the styling team do their thing. And then my stylist was Chloe Takaniyanagi for this. And she'll contact the brand will send options, and then based on that we'll kind of like make a decision, and at that time, not only at that time, at all times, Versace tends to be one of the ones that I go to time and time again. And I feel like it's because not just Versace, but a lot of like Italian cuts of suit like really complement my shoulders.
Yeah,
there's some suits out there that are maybe like a little more boxy, or like you can tell their models are like very skinny, lanky,
taller, lanky,
and it's not gonna like that's not gonna be me. Like I need like a solid triangle because my shoulders are very, very broad.
Noted. I don't know where this is, but I just want you to kind of school me on this outfit. This is fire.
Got it. Thank you so much.
What event was this? Do you know?
This is the Vanity Fair Oscars after party. So it's a very famous after party that happens after every Oscars. And it's a big fashion statement moment. And I had just presented at the Oscars. So I wore that exact same suit, but with like a bow tie kind of situation at the ceremony. And then this was Donatella Versace's idea, but she was like, wear the same thing, but just lose the shirt underneath.
Losing the shirt underneath, but what is this component that's underneath your suit jacket?
It's a little bandolier.
Oh, was it to keep the nips warm?
It was not to keep the nips warm. It's pure. Not? No, it was it's just the fashion. It's a fashion thing.
It looks fire.
I'm actually really sad to say never really caught on because I really like
the bandolier.
Yeah.
Because we don't have visuals to it, but underneath the suit jacket, this thing is just it's wrapped around your whole like a shoulder, right?
No, it's just kind of like a little strap. It's two little straps that come out actually.
Oh, so it's not around your body.
No.
This is fire though. Do you remember what kind of shoes you had on?
It was Versace head to toe.
Sockless. I felt like you were. I did some research, some recon. You go sockless pretty often.
Yeah. I did, especially as it was a very millennial thing. I know I'm gonna get a lot of like
all good
boomer comments for it, but yeah, now I do. I've fully come back. I wear socks now.
Did I say the word?
Yeah, you did. But repeating what I said. Yeah.
Oh, so you said it.
I said it and then you said it. Yeah. Did I say the word?
You did. Fair enough. You didn't repeat it. So here's the thing. I said the word earlier on. But when you said it, it wasn't in conjunction to when I said it.
Oh, got it.
You just on your own accord really decided to say it.
I feel like, I did. You did catch the moment where I was trying to get it out of you. That was not well done on my part, but yeah.
Yo, that's very broad. There was a likelihood of me saying that is pretty high.
Yeah.
You did say shorts. Okay. Yeah. That was...
I didn't know how specific you were gonna go. Like, were you gonna make me say something like insane?
I don't know. I'm workshopping
like
this.
Like penny pincher or like
that would have been
like deciduous trees or like something crazy.
I like that. That might. So I think maybe because there's still the early stages of this.
Yeah.
That
you're honing your craft.
I'm honing my craft, but it's
like
still
plasma. I don't know. Just like how specific are we getting?
Yo, I'm gonna think, and when we get a chance to reconvene again here,
okay,
I'll swing farther for the fences.
Please do.
But no, I felt like
because it's more impressive the further you swing.
You're right, but I felt like this was more time relevant to today.
Fair enough.
Right?
Fair enough.
So I will say thank you for making time, and it's cool to get to chat and catch up. But there is one thing that I want to point out that has come up a couple times since we talked. You brought it up. I picked your brain about it. Preconceived notions. Okay. I had mine about you.
Okay.
I had mine.
Tell me what they were.
Maybe it's just human to have preconceived notions.
Absolutely.
Because I think we look at preconceived notions like it's the negative, and it can be, right? Like if you're using your preconceived notions and you're forming an opinion about one individual or a collective of people or whatever,
sure,
and it's in a negative light, then obviously that needs to be addressed. But I think it is human to kind of look at situations, look at people, look at entities, and kind of maybe make assessments, right?
Yeah.
And it might not be rooted in
yeah.
accuracy, right?
Yeah.
So my preconceived notion of you, and I've noticed a lot of times, maybe this is the point of preconceived notions. It's more rooted on the person that's making them, right?
Oh, interesting.
You kind of, I think you touched on a little bit when you were talking about it a moment ago.
Sure.
I think because I'm looking at this Shang-Chi kind of like atmosphere and the just the fever, Shang-Chi fever, and not knowing you personally, I'm looking at you at that time, watching it all unfold, and it's not negative, but I was just like, I don't know about this guy. Like, I don't know. So it wasn't necessarily a preconceived notion that was like, he's a dick, or he's a jerk, or anything like that. But it was definitely a preconceived, just like, I don't know.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Not even about, I don't know about his acting. It was just like, I don't know about this guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's more a preconceived notion or just a honest answer. If someone were like, hey, what do you, Jin, think about Simu Liu?
Yeah,
and my answer is just,
I don't know.
I don't know, right? Because I don't know you personally.
Yeah.
But I think specific to when we did cross paths briefly at Asian Prom, as you described it,
Yeah.
I would say you made a great first impression, right? In the simple act of being generous with your time. Because I remember, I came up to you, I was like, yo, what's up, man? You know, and I'm never the type that, it's a balancing act for me. Because on one hand, someone could be like, yo, Jin, yeah, just go up. Yo, you're Jin.
Sure. You're Jin.
Yeah, like,
Dude,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
and
yeah.
I navigate that to this day still. You know, and I don't want to be that's like, I know who I am, but that doesn't automatically mean I can walk up to anybody, be it Simu, be it whoever, be it Jeremy, and just be like, yo, right? So, like I said, it's more of an internal thing. But I do remember vividly, you were gracious. And then specifically my objective at that moment was to get a chance to be able to say what's up to you, take a quick pic.
Of course.
You were super cool. Brief in interaction, but enough to make an impression on me and on him and for me as a father. So thank you for that. I wanted to say that like for the record and on camera and on audio. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And just all the best to you. And in the spirit of that moment, the question I'm about to ask you now to kind of wrap this all up is inspired by Chance. Because Chance asked me this one day.
I love that.
If you could say one thing, one sentiment, one sentence right now, and the whole world, every single person on earth will hear it in their head at the same time, what would you say?
Whoa.
That's a whoa question, right? Especially coming from a 13-year-old. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah.
Chance came up with
He
that?
asked me that. I don't know where he sourced it from, but he did ask me.
He's a really smart guy.
So you could mull on it for a moment.
Yeah, I think I know the like spirit of what I want to say. I just want to make sure I articulate it in the best possible way. Because I think my big thing right now with just the world and the way I'm seeing things is just like I'm watching people get further and further away from each other.
Yeah.
And I'm watching, you know, especially if you spend time online, I'm just watching people lose the ability to like empathize and listen.
Yeah.
I think it might be a run-on sentence.
Go for it. Go for it.
I think it's like human beings are a lot more alike than you think. Semicolon. They wake up, they have trials and tribulations, they struggle, they have sorrow, they have someone that they love, that they think about, they worry about if they're able to provide for their families, and if that's not immediately, then they'll worry about providing for the next generation, or they'll worry about providing for their community. And just the things that make us human are so universal. And I think as kind of I've spent time in this industry as a storyteller, that's kind of what I've learned, is that there's certain things that are so universally human. And so I just wish that people understood just how alike we actually were. And maybe that would help things a little bit.
Period.
That was like a
that was great.
Paragraph.
And everybody in the whole world just heard it at the same time.
Yeah, and was just like, this wordy motherfucker. What?
Yo, thanks for another contribution.
Yeah, I know.
I would be remiss if I didn't share my manifestation story.
Yeah,
because I asked you for you shared about your Twitter. So around the time that you were formally announced for Shang-Chi, and it's out there already, me, now that I look back on it, very similar to what you described, kind of impulsed you to tweet out,
Sure.
you know, the, hey, y'all looking for a Shang-Chi? I'm right here.
Yeah.
I didn't tweet anything out, but I posted an Instagram, not even a story, a post. I put it on the grid to show you how committed I was.
Oh, yeah, that was...
This was not going to disappear in 24 hours.
Okay.
I posted on my grid. But what I did was I made like a meme. I think it was a picture of me and you that I photoshopped in sequence, like 3 different. No, you know what it was? It was like Peter, as in Peter Parker, with I don't know the character's name, but you know his buddy in all of the Spider-Man franchise.
Yeah, the movies?
Yeah, in the movies.
Ned?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's him
Guy
and
in the
Ned.
chair.
And then I think right under it is, or above it is Tony and, who's Tony's driver?
Oh, yeah, Happy?
Happy, yes. Tony, yeah. So it was like Tony and Happy, Peter and Ned, and then I photoshopped the third one. It's you and me. And the caption was something to the extent of every Marvel hero needs his loud mouth, funny banter friend on the side that has, no aspiration other than serving his friend. So that was something to what I put out there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm here.
Yeah.
So it was partly inspired by your Twitter approach. But then also I was like, hey, this is just something fun to do, right?
Yeah.
I want to say, although that didn't manifest in terms of in the film, I still think it served its purpose in me sitting here with you right now.
Yeah.
I got to watch that come to life, right?
Dude,
like,
absolutely.
Definitely.
And I'm glad for what it's worth. Like I feel like the same way, but our roles reversed.
Yeah.
Because I feel like what you did, just to say it, because we have to close on it. And also, I'm trying to.
Shout
I have
out to
to work
Aquafina,
up,
by the way.
And shout out to Nora and Aquafina because she was incredible. She was the loudmouth.
I was like, oh, they just wanted a loudmouth Asian female. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
So remember I said 60-40? I was still like, you go, girl. Right? There was no.
I'm gonna try to convince Jin to take some money off the swear jar. But what you did at a time where you really like. As much as we struggle with representation now, it's like you really didn't see it back then. And for you to come on the scene and absolutely just destroy rappers on stage, like it was such a point of pride to me and to all of my friends. And that was meaningful. People like you and Jeremy and Phil, like you guys, I think did more for my psychology and my psyche than you will ever know. And more than maybe I would ever even know, because the more I think about it, and my parents ask me all the time too, they're like, when we grab lunch together now or grab dinner, they're like, what made you think that you could do, like what made you even think that it was possible? Like we know obviously the chances of your success, like whatever. Yeah. We knew that was like 1 in a million, right? Yeah. But what made you even think that you could put your hat in the ring? And I think it's people like you. I think it's you, and it's Jeremy and Phil, and I think it's growing up in an era where like there was just enough Asian representation that when it happened, you clocked it. I was like, Jin, 106 in Park, and then I was like Linsanity, and then okay, Phil, YouTube, like I think because it was so sparse, it made it so memorable, and it just, I mean, yeah,
thank you.
You were right when I was in high school, you were like. Killing it.
Yo, appreciate it. But I'm going to remix everything you just said.
Oh, come on.
When you say people like you and people like, I'm going to say it right now, people like us that are dreamers. Mm-hmm. We were dreamers.
God, wow.
We are dreamers.
Wow.
So it's not even, and we will continue to be dreamers, right? And what you do, I thank you on behalf of my sons. And, I just want to continue to be able to show them as in not just my own sons, but children in general, and not even just Asian kids, right? I think just dreamer kids in general. I think that's what you were, dreamer kids. Whether it's you, myself, Jeremy, anybody that has a dream of any scale. So I think dreaming is great. And thank you for everything you just said, man. Like I'm quite early on this journey with this thing, and it's a learning curve even for me, right? For all that I've been through and ups and downs, this is a new endeavor, and it's cool to know that people are supportive of it, such as yourself. So thank you, man.
Thanks for having me on.
For being part of this.